Welcome to the 8-Bit Pop Culture Show. I'm Hekla Petursson. And if you've been in Richmond for even just one weekend, you've probably noticed that we are a hub for creatives, artists, and those who express themselves. Richmond has churned out some pretty big names, including Lucy Dacus, Wes Parker, Constance Wu, Shirley MacLaine, and those are just the few off the top of my head. Even just in my graduating class from VCU, someone went on to RuPaul's Drag Race, and another was in the Mean Girls movie. There's so much talent here, and I'm so excited to introduce two people that help foster that community of artists and boost their morale, boost their confidence, and get them all together in one spot. Please welcome Mark and Davina. Welcome to the show, Mark and Davina. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. I love your events. I've been to quite a few. Before we get into what all of these awesome events are, because I'm sure that's what people are excited to hear, please tell me what got you started in making these awesome events?
Go ahead. Females first, ladies first.
I started in D.C. I felt like deep down everybody is a creator, so I started hosting creative events. And fast forward years later, I met Mark, and Mark does more cosplay events, and I really get a kick out of how it combines the creativity and people's imaginations when they're going out, and decided that we should do an event together. We were planning on doing a Time Travelers Gala in D.C., and pandemic hit, and things kind of changed, but it's been an exciting journey with him. And I started in D.C., and since moving here, we decided to start our own collective of how we do it, and putting it under After Dark RVA instead of our two separate entities, businesses. But the creators, pulling the creators out to dance and have fun is a big deal to me. I love it.
Yeah, and
we
love it.
Flourish at their best, and they're so excited to wear something they made.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing gets any better than that.
Yeah, and you say that he does the cosplay events, but you also do some incredible body art, which maybe isn't the same as cosplay, but can you tell me about where you got that craft?
Actually, so I went to Burning Man in 2014 and 2015, so cool. And first year that I went, I had a booth called Let's Paint It All, and it was just like a bunch of blank puzzles and things that people could paint. And if they said they weren't an artist, I was like, let me paint you. Ooh. And all of a sudden I started just using acrylic, I was using my acrylic paints. I asked if it was okay. They were like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And so I ended up doing it. The second year, the first year I ended up having a booth, and they were like, wow, this is your first year Burning Man and you got a booth? And I'm like, yeah, well, I do it like that. And so I ended up painting people that year, and it was the most exciting thing, and I realized I liked it. And then by the second year I went, I had a booth again, and I did it again, only I was a little more experienced, and I got hired for a wedding at Burning Man, and that was absolutely just the most magical experience. Having somebody's, my art on somebody standing in front of, at the burn, and it's just it was the most beautiful, the effigy that they were in front of. It's just, anyhow, so that was magical to me, and when I got back to D.C., I realized that everybody's an artist. They just got to explore all the arts, and people say they're not an artist, but I don't believe that. You haven't walked into a music store and tried all the instruments, have you? And most people don't. And so life has all these creative tools and outlets, and I'm determined to bring them, bring the creativity out of people. Bring their creativity out, excuse me.
I love that.
And our events, it's a great way to network and meet people that are creative, and I can't wait to meet more people in the area. This is the most creative city. I thought that D.C. was creative, but Richmond is pretty creative.
Yes, I love to hear that.
A lot of great talent here.
So how I got started, so I will try to give you the quick summarized version. So I used to live in Alabama, and I used to work at the Birmingham News, and I was a graphic designer. So that's how I became so proficient in what I do. So I discovered something called Dragon Con. Dragon Con is a massive sci-fi convention that happens on Labor Day every weekend. It's like 80,000 people. It's like Mardi Gras meets Halloween.
Wow.
So I went to that and had an amazing experience, and so I met some other guys one year, and we were able to secure a large suite, and we started doing theme parties. And it was just, you know, we would take donations and we would transform the entire suite. We did this like heavy metal party, and we would put like fake speakers. We'd print out fake speakers and put them over everywhere. And it was like, so you had this immersive environment. So so I did that, and there was a guy that came to me and said, hey, would you like to help with the Atlanta zombie pub crawl? Would you like to co-produce that? And I'm like, I've never co-produced something like that. And he's like, well, you've got what it takes because you do these parties and you're really good at marketing. So I took a chance, and so I started to do the pub crawl with these two other guys, Lucas and Justin. And so I was able to take their zombie pub crawl, which this was during when Walking Dead was extremely popular.
Yeah.
So I was able to take it from like a 300-person pub crawl up to about 800 or 900 people. So we would have these tents, and we'd have makeup artists transforming people into zombies and everything. And so, and I did convention parties, but I eventually was like, well, I should start trying to do this full time. So I took a buyout from the Birmingham News and started to do it full time. And so I met Davina, recently, like the end of 2019. But I used to live in Atlanta, so I did like 20 events a year. Most of them were bar crawls and pub crawls, and I didn't do like the dance stuff that we do now because it's so much more of a headache. It's worth it, but you can have much higher overhead. There's a lot more moving pieces, and that's probably why I kind of ventured back into doing these, because Davina's kind of she's a great partner to where she helps me with it. So I was doing them in Atlanta, and I decided to move to Virginia and start over, and I didn't know that Richmond was as dark and creative as it is. And I met her on New Year's Eve back in 2019, and she just happened to be a graphic designer and an event producer. I happened to be a graphic designer and an event producer. We both did events. I did larger scale, much bigger events, but she was much more of her stuff was a little bit more art centric. And so we're like, hey, we should do an event together. And COVID happened, and that kind of we got to know each other really well during COVID. And so I was living in Richmond, and she moved down to Richmond. And so that was 14 years later. So we both our paths kind of worked out to where we both are able to now do the whole After Dark RVA, and I still have Markstercon. I still do events in Atlanta and down in Savannah, but I don't really promote those around here. But really we do all of our stuff here. I do probably 90% of my stuff is local with Davina, and we love Richmond. Richmond's great. It's very supportive.
Yeah, and Richmond is so happy that this dynamic duo made it out of COVID. So thank you for that.
We love it. It's very rewarding to see people. I mean, it can be very, very stressful for what we do as far as we have like so many hours to set up, and then you do this event. It's like you go through this almost like a pregnancy, and then you have birth of the child. Birth of the event happens that day, and then it's all gone. So it's almost you always have a little postpartum afterwards. Yeah. You're like, well, that's over because the event's over. Then you got to tear it down, and it's done. So we've been very lucky and met some wonderful people, and we've had some great sponsors. People really helped us out. Right, the Richmond Zombie Walk. Red Vein has been great. We're going to be working with RavenCon.
Exciting.
We met with Michael yesterday, so we're going to see how we can get involved, because RavenCon is the longest running sci-fi convention in Richmond. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary this year.
Awesome.
So, they're local, and we like to try to support local artists. You also have the Krampus Walk, you have Krampusnacht, you have the Fae Federation for fairies. There's so many different elements that happen in Richmond. So we're very blessed that we're here. I think it works out perfectly for what we're doing.
And how recently was it that you started After Dark RVA?
I guess last year, probably, when we started kind of we were already doing a couple of events here and there, but then we decided it's like, we probably, because people didn't know that we were local. It's her brand.
It's called DC
Creators, and of course, you have the whole DC, Northern Virginia type of thing, and with Markstercon, I've been doing events for so long that a lot of people think I'm some huge corporation that does events in all these cities, and I'm just, somewhere else. But now that we live here and Richmond's like our home, and we wanted people to know that, we are about the creative community here. So probably about a year ago, something like that. We still have our own brands, but it's just, this way we can actually have a hub of, hub of events in one type of setting, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's a easy way to like, because when you think After Dark RVA, I immediately think of the kind of events you do, like the cool parties at night. So let's get into, I'm going to change to our cool slideshow here of all the events you're doing this year, how people can get involved. What are the different events you're doing this year?
Boy,
I know, it's a big question. There's so
we
many.
have a list.
You're right. Yeah. So the next one we have coming up is our Dark Valentine's Fantasy Ball Masquerade, and we've done that 2 years, and that's at the Hofheimer. So it's kind of it's a dark take on Valentine's. It's not necessarily, you don't have to have anybody with you. It's kind of like our sequel to the Vampire Ball, which we also do. So that goes over really well. It's the Hofheimer, and then the next one is Davina does
Sip
it.
and body paint.
Ooh.
It's a Valentine's edition. It's going to be great. We're teaching how to paint roses.
Oh, cool.
And I usually I'll pull in a teacher, somebody that's experienced with face or body painting, and they teach a 20-minute optional, 20-minute lesson within the 3-hour stretch of the actual workshop. And so that's coming up on the 15th, which is the same weekend.
Sweet. So someone's really stressed about, I don't know what to do for Valentine's Day. There are 2 events that they can get on the same umbrella.
Really, though, actually, there are 3. We love Fallout, which is a goth industrial club that has
Alternative club.
different programming all the time, and so they are doing their annual My Bloody Valentine on Saturday. So we're doing our Dark Valentines on Friday, so they're doing theirs on Saturday, and then she'll do hers on Sunday. So it's actually 3
I love
three
that.
events, which is kind of cool. We try to work with other venues and event promoters as much as we can. Try to play nice with everybody, make sure everything aligns so we're not stepping on toes, or as a team, you're much stronger if you support one another as opposed to
Synergy.
trying to bury each other out.
Yeah, and so far I've been to events at both the Hofheimer and Fallout for After Dark RVA, and both venues are so cool and very welcoming.
They're pretty opposite ends
Yeah,
of the
they're
spectrum,
drastically
which is
different.
great.
That's why we
you know,
like it.
Yeah.
which is great. Their management at both places is really good to work with. I've worked in a lot of different venues over the last 14 years. So, we're lucky to have those.
Absolutely.
Richmond does it best.
Richmond is great. Yeah, Richmond is a very dark-centric city, especially. I think it's because of maybe Edgar Allan Poe with the Poe Museum is kind of has a very wide blanket over everything. So all the events that we do, a lot of them are kind of very creative and darker, I guess you could say. We would do some stuff that's a little more mainstream, but it really brings in the creativity with people.
Sweet. So after Valentine's, what are we looking at? Can people grab tickets to events like Zombie Bash already?
Right, yeah. We have a website. It's afterdarkrva.com, and it has their banners of all of our events that we currently have posted. And so if it has a little banner on that says tickets now available, then they can buy them. Most of the events, I think we have tickets up right now. But yeah, they can definitely do that.
Perfect.
But the next thing we have coming up is Apocalypse Weekend. Which is we're working with Fallout on that one. So they've been doing an annual event called Nuclear Winter that they do every year, and they basically bring in all these elements that make it feel like it's the apocalypse or the apocalypse has happened. They turn the AC down real low to make it feel very cool, as cold as they can. Kind of the whole nuclear winter thing. So we've been wanting to do something with the Richmond Zombie Walk for a while now. We met Josh and Ant, who are the guys that they're still active with that and who founded it. So it happened this year that it was going to happen. So we talked to Jackie at Fallout, and she's like, "Well, we could do it on this date, but it's right before Nuclear Winter." And I'm like, "Perfect." So we'll do a Zombie Bash on the February 21st. So that's kind of like everything, society has fallen, the zombies are coming out. So that's all about zombies and survivors. And the next night is actually the survivors, people, kind of like Mad Max type of renegades and things like that.
That's so cool.
And then we're incorporating a zombie pinup contest. I've done that in Atlanta for several years, and so I thought with Richmond being so dark, it might be good to try that. So we'll actually have one entry from every person posted in Fallout in one area so people can actually vote for that. So we'll be doing people's choice that night, and then there's also an online favorite, and then we have a panel of judges. So there's actually 3 contests within one. So so if you don't win one, you might win another one.
And so there are a couple events you have where there's a contest element like that. And when people sign up for these contests, just in case they're wondering, do they have to have experience? Do they have to be a professional pinup gal?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Nobody.
not.
would-
I love it.
Nobody does.
Absolutely not, especially with zombies. You know, zombies come in all shapes and sizes, all creeds, all colors, male, female, whatever gender. So that's what we love about zombies. You know, anybody can do it. You know, if you think, usually you say pinup, people are like, well, I'm not of this certain body type or whatever. So for that one, is definitely open to anybody that wants to be creative. That's what we kind of love about it. Because we've had a few people say, well, I don't have enough self-confidence. I'm like, this is the opportunity if you ever wanted to be a pinup.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can completely
Zombie.
paint yourself so nobody even knows who you are.
It's like exactly. It's very non-traditional. But most of the other events we will have like a cosplay element to it, and you don't have to be a professional cosplayer or anything like that. Most of them we have Kiara Skiro, who's a local known cosplayer. She'll host them. So
She's great.
she's great, and it takes the stress off of us. We both are not fans of having to.
I don't like
To
judging.
run cosplay contests, I don't like telling anybody theirs is better than somebody else's, and it's just stressful when we're trying to run the events, also doing cosplay. So we're very appreciative to Kiara, and it's people sign up. And the costume contests are fast. Because sometimes you'll go to an event and like the contest, whatever it is, might take 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So we run ours pretty fast. It's usually done within 10 or 15 minutes, so people can go back to enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that's sweet. Awesome. So then you have the contests, you have people who can just generally show up and just have a good time, but you also have a charity element if people would like to get in on that. Can you tell me about what you're doing with charity?
Well, yes, we also do have a charity element. Usually it is feedmore.org, and we ask people to bring in canned goods. It works out really easy. Every 2 cans you bring in, you get a raffle ticket. So the more cans you bring in, the more raffle tickets you get. And then you can win prizes at the end of the night. And we do a silent raffle. So whatever prizes we have, we staple the ticket to the prize. And so you come back, and if your number matches, it wins. We don't announce numbers and stuff like that. It's kind of buzzkill for parties. So it's very easy. It's very simple, but we love supporting Feedmore. They're very important in Central Virginia for bringing in canned goods and food, and as we all know now, especially with the way the world is, something as simple as doing something good about bringing in some canned goods, it's worth it. It's always good to try to do something good in return for what you're doing.
Yeah, and it feels. When I went to Vampire Ball, it felt so good to bring in the cans while I'm gearing up in my cool dress to party. It really did feel good walking in and knowing everyone was supporting something.
Right.
So,
Right.
thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah, and so one thing that really struck me was when I have gone to these events, I feel so welcomed and part of a community, even if I don't know anyone there. Can you talk a little bit about what these parties do for the community? Because I feel like they're very important in Richmond.
Well, I think that it really helps people have an excuse to get out, dress up, and to the nines or however they think the nines is.
Yeah.
I think that secretly people like to, have a reason to socialize. And, when you're just wearing regular things, it's just kind of like, no, not really any reason to talk to somebody. But if they have a cool hat on, or, if they painted their face, or they got the most, exaggerated whatever on it, it's going to have an excuse to, I like your da-da-da. And I think that that can help pull people together. And enjoy themselves, and pulling a community together of creators. I think that we need each other right now more than anybody, because we tend to be more expressive and take things heavy, and we need an out and to get away from reality, especially now. Just kind of pull out and go and enjoy yourself with some people that are like-minded, and those like-minded people are usually kind of not going out. A lot of people don't go out these days.
Yeah.
since the pandemic, it really changed things. Not even I've been going out as much. I mean, I haven't really wanted to go out as much either.
Yeah.
And most people have home entertainment now, and every channel out there, it's a different world. So I think that our events are a great excuse to come out, and even if it's only once a month, we have at least once a month a reason to come out and dress up and make your own outfit or wear that exaggerated makeup that you never get to wear anywhere else. So yeah, I think that that's really the start of it. And then we also really do work with people. We love to collaborate, and that's one of my favorite things is to get the news that somebody's going to be a standing sponsor or something. Oh my God. Because we like to support them too. And so I guess it's all kind of exciting to me. I'm the person, and when I get dressed up myself, I feel the same. I feel very like, wow, I never get to wear the bloody dress that I made. Where else are you going to wear it but a vampire ball? So, I think that people actually, I've found out, have made costumes just for our events, and that's like the most special thing.
Right. Well, I think that's one thing that's important because Richmond is so creative. Our events, themed events in general, give people a purpose to create.
Yeah.
So if it's the pirate ball, it gives somebody a reason to put something together and be creative. And it kind of invests them into the event. Because if you just go to a bar, it's like you're just going to a bar. But if you're putting something together and you're proud of it, it gives you a reason to come out and you're now part of the event as opposed to just having decor. I mean, a lot of our events, or most of our events, the event is because of the attendees. It's because of what they're wearing. It's because of the energy they bring to it. So having this reason to actually put on something and be creative, and our events being in safe spaces, in venues that are well managed. People they don't have to worry about coming out and feeling like they're going to be ostracized because they're different. We meld really well with the alternative community. We're the creators. We're the strange and unusual people that tend to that are more, as we see, is more unique and more special. But yeah,
who wants to be like everybody else?
I sure don't.
Right.
Yeah, I did for Krampus Ball. I got to put together a really cool outfit, and what was really cool about that event was that they incorporated so many different cultures. So I could dress up as the Yule Cat from Iceland, who no one's ever heard of, but people there appreciated it,
Right.
And it just gave me a kind of confidence you really can't get anywhere else. And I also think it's important for the viewer to know that the alternative community and the art community in Richmond are so welcoming, and that there's not some gatekeepy element.
Right.
Really anyone can come to these events if they're hype about it.
We always say, when in doubt, wear black, because if you don't know what to wear, just wear black. You can be a spectator. You can just be there and enjoy it.
Right. And a lot
and then the next time you might want to dress up or make something or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that come to our events tend to be the ones that don't really feel like they fit in anywhere else. So I think they're more appreciative of the type of events we do because they know that they're more unique and they know that it's something that they can go and they can actually make some new friends. I know when I've been doing events for a while now, and I've had several wedding proposals at the events because usually we have really good photo ops. So I've had the surprise, they're engaged, and several of them have gone on to get married. So it's nice that we know that we're bringing people together, that there's a reason, because you're bringing these like-minded people. It's hard if you just go into like some type of very sterile event to meet somebody. But if you're like, you automatically are like, well, I'm a fan of zombies. I like, I'm okay with the undead. I'm okay with, having a little bit of latex and gore on my face, and it breaks that barrier and makes it a lot easier for people to kind of come up and talk to one another.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like if I don't know anything about sports, so if I'm at a sports bar, not the spot for me to make friends.
Right. Well, we can guarantee if you come to any of our events, you will not see sports on a TV.
Love it.
We'll turn
you
the
won't see
TVs
regular
off.
TV on.
We'll turn the TVs off before we would do that. I mean, we have visuals that we put on the TVs and stuff, but that's not something that you'll find at our place. The sports sports are great, but if you're coming to an event, you want to be in an immersive experience. You don't want to have something that's oh, well, these people are having fun and being
Yeah.
active, but we're not, as opposed to just turn that off and be in the now, be in the moment,
Yeah.
and appreciate it for what it is and make the most of it.
I love that. So, if people are now convinced that they need to come one of these events, because they do, how can they find them? Through Instagram website?
AfterDarkRVA.com.
Right?
Gorgeous.
Right. Yeah, we do have an Instagram for After Dark RVA. It's
Yes.
Instagram.com After Dark RVA, and then we have our respective social media. You know, mine's Instagram.com /Markstercon, and then
DC_creators.
Gorgeous.
Or Davina's Body Art, if you're interested
Hey.
in looking at my body art.
and even though we post our events under After Dark RVA, we also want to support other events, which we already do, but we would love it if other people could send us their links so we can put them on After Dark RVA. So it's not just ours,
Let us
because
share.
there's a lot of stuff that happens, after dark
Yeah.
in Richmond. So that's something that it's, even though it's kind of under our flag, we want to help promote other people, their other events. We all have different things that we're passionate about. So they can find us on social media or at afterdarkrva.com.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having us.
I just love the events they put on. Can you tell? I try to go to as many as possible because they are one of the most fun things going on in Richmond. If you want to check them out, please head to their website, head to their socials, After Dark RVA, where you can find tickets and scan the descriptions, see which ones call out to you, and just get involved with the Richmond arts community. There's no time like the present to make your first step. If you like the show, you can stream this show on the WRIC Plus app on smart TVs like Roku, or on the WRIC News app, where you might get your news and your weather on your phone, plus the website and the YouTube. I'm pretty much wherever you want me to be. My name's Hekla Petursson, and you can find me at The Hekla on socials if you want to tell me what you like or what you didn't like. Please, I'll see you in the next episode. This has been the 8-Bit Pop Culture Show.